What if they somehow like had a town hall? You ever watch that show, Hunting Bigfoot or whatever? You ever see that show?
Unfortunately, no, I missed that one. I know of it.
It's good. They never got him, but they were looking. They
thought they might have.
well, I think you would have seen it if they did, but
Close a couple times.
you know, I watched every single episode thinking that there was a chance that the call that they had was going to work and they were going to get a little conversation. And I've gone Bigfoot hunting before, but that does not need to be a part of this current conversation. I went with a guy named who's deaf. He was deaf
and blind.
No, he wasn't deaf, but he did have Confederate flags all over him. So I went into the woods deep in Georgia with a deaf man wearing Confederate flags, looking for something that revolves around about 90 to 95% audio stuff. So, I mean, there was a lot of conversation between my father and I that day whenever that was happening. I did not know that this man was a part of the Confederacy still. He lived out in the woods. I guess I should have guessed. I did not know he was deaf, okay? On the internet, it told me that this guy had seen him 5 times in 25 years and was a recluse.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, this is the expert on it is going to be this guy. I get down there. We're talking jacket, Confederate flag, belt buckle, Confederate flag, and we're 2 hours already deep into the woods at this point to get to this guy's house. So there's really no turning back at that point, but it was an interesting day. Okay, a very interesting night.
Did Bigfoot rip his ears off?
Well, no, he had his ears,
Okay.
but he lived in the woods so long, he didn't have anything that like amplified his hearing, because I think doctors would have probably do that or whatever.
Sure.
So he was just out there, couldn't hear a damn thing. I get there, I introduce myself. I might as well have not said anything. He didn't even hear it. I mean, it was a wild time. So I call my dad. Okay, I call my dad. We're about to do it. We get on top of like this mountain. And I'm like, yo, I'm looking for Bigfoot down here with a guy named Steve. I call him Confederate Steve. And my dad goes, why do you call him Confederate Steve? I'm like, he's got Confederate flags all over him right now. This is a wild time to be alive. I think he can sense I'm from the North and I'm undefeated in wars against him, but it is about. So my dad goes, so let me get this straight. You're out in the middle of the woods in Georgia with a man who has Confederate flags all over him, and it's like him and his buddies, and it's just you and one other person. I'm like, yeah. He's like, you're going to fucking die and you deserve it. That's what Tim McAfee told me, okay? You're going to die and you deserve it or whatever. But I found no Bigfoot that day, okay? They had this big call, too. They put up on a tree. We end up leaving. The NFL drug test me, by the way. I leave at like 4 a.m., 6 a.m. as soon as I got back into like civilization in Atlanta. It was outside of Atlanta there. So, I mean, it was a wild 24 hours there, okay? But they had to show, I was into it for a while is what I'm saying. They had a show called Finding Bigfoot where they would do these town hall meetings the night before they'd go. And it felt like they literally had entire towns there. Okay, so like the entire town was there, and they'd say, raise your hand if you've seen Bigfoot, and they're like 10 feet. Tell your story, tell your story, tell your story. And they draw a map. What if we had a big town hall with all of Green Bay, okay? And we told them, listen, we're just going to cut your stock in half, okay? We're going to own a majority, and we're going to try to make things a lot better for the Green Bay Packers, for all of us. So although your stocks are getting diluted in half, I think that we're going to get 3X, maybe 4X on the back end of that thing. Do you think that would be able to be something that happens with Packers ownership?